Hello, and welcome to the 2020 North Carolina Bike Walk Transportation Summit. This presentation will give us an update on North Carolina's Non-Motorized Volume Data Program. North Carolina's Non-Motorized Volume Data Program is managed by the Institute for Transportation Research and Education, also known as ITRE, for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. It began as a research project to test a bicycle and pedestrian count protocol for replication across the state, but it has grown to the point where it currently includes one of the most extensive statewide networks of continuous bicycle and pedestrian counting sensors in the country. As the program enters its 8th year, a few changes are afoot, and our presenter will describe what's next for this program. Our presenter is Sarah Searcy. Sarah is the Bicycle and Pedestrian Program Manager for the Institute for Transportation Research and Education at North Carolina State University. She is responsible for leading or assisting with the development and management of proposals, projects, and activities related to bicycle and pedestrian transportation. Sarah currently manages the North Carolina Non-Motorized Volume Data Program, also known as NMVDP. And now, to learn more about this program, I will turn it over to Sarah.
In this presentation, I'll provide a brief history of the North Carolina Non-Motorized Volume Data Program, or NMVDP, including background on Phase 1 and Phase 2, which conclude this year. I will also review the program structure and share details on the collaborative agency model. Under the collaborative agency model, NCDOT, with ITRE's assistance, is currently exploring a strategy where agencies that have purchased and installed bicycle and pedestrian counters separately from the NMVDP can join the program by opting into its data management and reporting services. The NMVDP began in November 2013 as a research project to test a bicycle and pedestrian count protocol for replication across the state of North Carolina. When the project began, very few states were establishing or making plans for regional or statewide non-motorized counting programs. At the time, Minnesota, Colorado, and Oregon DOTs were establishing formal programs along with North Carolina. In addition to these states, a 2019 scan of current U.S. practice by the Virginia Transportation Research Council identified bicycle and pedestrian counting efforts, guidelines, plans, and research in progress by state DOTs in Florida, Idaho, Louisiana, New Hampshire, Texas, Washington, Utah, Vermont, California, Michigan, North Dakota, and Ohio. The creation of the NMVDP was motivated by the need to establish a common, consistent system for quantifiably measuring non-motorized traffic volumes based on sound methods. The resulting high-quality data can be used in tools to measure existing trends and to model future increases in bicycle and pedestrian volumes at site, corridor, and regional levels. The program and the data that it produces enables NCDOT and its local agency partners to evaluate facility usage over time, provide quantifiable evidence to support non-motorized facility inclusion through the Complete Streets process, improves municipal and regional planning for active travel, and may in time inform the project prioritization process. In Phase 1 and Phase 2 of the program, NCDOT partnered with local agencies to select counting locations and to install and maintain the necessary permanent sensor network to establish statistically valid expansion factor groups. The count data are verified and validated through quality assurance and quality control, or QA/QC, processes before being centrally warehoused using vendor-provided software. The data are provided to local agencies through preliminary quarterly and official annual data reports. Phase 1 and 2 of the program prioritize continuous counters in order to develop adjustment factors that can be applied to short-duration counts to produce annual statistics, such as annual average daily pedestrian traffic, AADP, or annual average daily bicycle traffic, AADB. Short-duration counts were collected only to inform the site selection for the permanent continuous counters. When the NMVDP began as a research project in late 2013, program development was focused on coordinated data collection. From the first pilot phase of the project through its second phase, we tested and established coordinated data collection processes based on a linear set of research tasks. In late 2018, I took over leadership of the NC NMVDP. Based on this leadership transition, the program was restructured to better reflect the day-to-day, quarterly, and annual program processes that had been established since the start. The linear set of research tasks was reimagined and reorganized into a formal program structure based on 3 coordination areas: local agency, equipment, and data, encompassed by overall program management. The reorganization involved defining and assigning official roles to team members relative to the coordination areas and based on their individual expertise. This modular structure allows for each coordination area to be assigned a technical lead for oversight of its day-to-day tasks and the ability to apply and scale services by opting partners into the scope of work for one or more coordination areas. The restructuring was informed by a series of team and one-on-one feedback meetings with key program staff that included reflection on the program's history. The restructuring has improved overall communication, coordination, and efficiency across and between the program's different interconnected functions and laid the foundation for future scaling of the program. To summarize, the current program began as a pilot in November 2013 with the inclusion of NCDOT Divisions 7 and 9 in Phase 1. NCDOT Divisions 7 and 9 were selected for the pilot because these areas had the most comprehensive GIS data set available on existing non-motorized facilities in North Carolina at the time for use and site selection. Continuous counters were installed to monitor bicycle and pedestrian traffic at 13 locations by December 2014. Counting locations were spread across a variety of facility types to cover the automated detection of pedestrians on sidewalks, bicycles and pedestrians on shared use paths, bicycles in bicycle lanes, bicycles on sidewalks, and bicycles in shared lanes with motor vehicles. Pedestrian detection uses post-mounted passive infrared sensors. Bicycles are detected with inductive loops permanently cut into paved surfaces or buried under crushed gravel. The counting systems are called multi-systems and are manufactured by EcoCounter. The program expanded to NCDOT Divisions 4, 5, 8, and 10 under Phase 2 with the installation of continuous counters at 31 additional locations by June 2018. Continuous counters were installed at 4 additional locations on shared use paths under a separate NCDOT-funded research project. These counters were onboarded into the NC NMVDP and are included in the program's quarterly and annual data reporting. This map provides the location and distribution of continuous bicycle and pedestrian counters in the program as of August 2020. The green markers represent counters installed under Phase 1, the red markers represent counters installed under Phase 2, and the black markers are counters on shared use paths that were purchased for a separate NCDOT-funded research project. NCDOT, with ITRI's assistance, is currently exploring a strategy to opt local agencies into the NC NMVDP data management and reporting services for counters that were purchased and installed outside of the program. The purple markers on this map represent the counters that were recently onboarded into our program under this approach, including 10 permanent counters on the Capital Area Greenway system in Raleigh, 3 permanent and 3 portable counters on greenways in Cary, 3 permanent counters on the Thermal Belt Rail Trail, and multiple portable counters that are being deployed under the NC Department of Human and Health Services Division of Public Health's Pedestrian Counter Loaner Program. We're going to transition now from our program history to our program models, our future scope of work, and roles and responsibilities for partners. These partners include our local agencies, ITRI, and our current vendor, EcoCounter. This slide summarizes the program model for the Phase 1 pilot and Phase 2 with the NC NMVDP. Roles and responsibilities under Phase 1 and 2 were established under memorandums of agreement initiated between NCDOT and the local agency receiving the continuous count equipment. Under the signed MOAs, NCDOT owns the counting equipment until 24 months after the installation date. During this time, NCDOT is responsible for non-routine hardware and software maintenance, including battery replacement, replacing malfunctioning equipment, sensor replacement, and data transmittal charges, including GSM or cellular subscriptions. ITRI is contracted by NCDOT to perform the in-field counter maintenance. Upon 24 months after the installation date, the ownership of the counting equipment transfers to the local agency, and the local agency is responsible for the counter maintenance and associated costs. After the transfer of the counter ownership according to the signed MOA, the Phase 1 and 2 agencies transition to what we are calling the collaborative agency model. For the useful life of the counting equipment, NCDOT will support data monitoring and management based on the processes and procedures established under the NC NMVDP. ITRI is contracted to provide the data monitoring and management support, including routine quarterly and annual data, quality assurance and quality control, equipment validation, and data reporting. This scope includes limited support for field maintenance and troubleshooting. Agencies that have purchased and installed counters separately from the NC NMVDP can join the program under the collaborative agency model by opting into the data management scope of work. What this practically means is that moving forward, all agencies participating in the NC NMVDP are provided the expert services that fall mostly within the data coordination area of our program, including data monitoring, equipment validation, routine quarterly and annual QA/QC, and data analysis and reporting. In addition, the verified and validated data collected by all counters in the program are stored in a centralized data set that is made available to the public. We will also share information and training with all agencies participating in the program on at least an annual basis through a workshop meeting. The overall objective is to ensure that all bicycle and pedestrian volume data generated through the program is rigorously evaluated for accuracy and validity based on standardized processes, stored in a centralized data warehouse in the state that is publicly available, and eventually reported to FHWA according to traffic monitoring analysis system requirements. This model also allows the NC NMVDP to more rapidly scale across the state by bringing in data from existing counter installations. Under the collaborative agency model, the important tasks that are the responsibility of our local agency partners that own their counters are those related to the field maintenance, troubleshooting, and repair of their counting equipment. I have a few additional items that I would like to mention. We have a program website where we publish our verified and validated annual data reports that includes our historic annual data. Our website is also an archive for our program deliverables, including our Phase 1 final report. Our Phase 2 final report will be published in the fall of this year. Our 2020 annual data report will be published in early 2021. The quick link to our program website is go.ncsu.edu/NMVDP. I would like to conclude with showing our key contacts at ITRI. Craig Baird is our equipment coordinator. He is responsible for maintaining the counters while under NCDOT ownership and is an expert on the technology and commonly encountered issues. Chris Carnes is our validation lead. He coordinates our validation studies that are used to assess the accuracy of the counters after installation and when critical components are repaired or replaced or when calibration settings are changed. Blythe Carter Geiger is our data coordinator and oversees our data monitoring, QA/QC, and data reporting. Brendan Kearns, our data processing lead, assists with our weekly data reviews and routine data processing tasks. If you would like to learn more about how to access the NC NMVDP's publicly available data sets, please join me and Olivia White from EcoCounter for our presentation, Accessing and Analyzing Public Count Data from North Carolina's Pedestrian and Cyclist Counters. This program is a great team effort that would not be possible without the cooperation and collaboration between our local agency partners, NCDOT, ITRI, and our vendor EcoCounter. I hope that this presentation has provided you with a useful overview of the NC NMVDP and the resources available in the program. I encourage you to visit our program website and explore the counts that are being collected across the state. Thank you.